Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to go back to our favorite distillery in Taiwan, Dustin.
Yes, sir.
The Kavalan. This particular one is a portwood finish, exclusively bottled for New Jersey. It just says, just the state of New Jersey. One cask, we got bottle 150 of 171, and this one again comes in at a cask strength of 57.8% ABV. Comes in this nice little tube, as many of these Kavalans do. Bottle goes in here, says a little bit about the distillery over here. Very solid packaging. I always love the tubes as far as carrying around. They always seem to hold up better than some of the square boxes do, Dustin.
Yeah, and the bottles don't fall out.
Yes.
Which is really the most important.
So what else can you tell us about this, Dustin? When did you get it?
So I've had this for probably close to 9 months. I've been looking for one of their port cask finished bottles, and now they're not just New Jersey exclusives. I've seen them a couple different online sites. I've seen them in Chicago. So they're around. They tend to run 250 to 300 range. Maybe you can get them a little less overseas. I've not seen too many of those available, though.
And the last time we did a Kavalan review, we had mentioned about the car on the top of the knob. So thank you to Stephen Connor for telling us the King Car Group was the parent company of Kavalan, which we had absolutely no idea, but we should have, because we have a whole box of Kavalans over there, and it's just spelled out right there on the side of the box. So,
yeah. And also the last bottle, if you notice, go back to the thumbnail, there's a medallion right here.
Says King
literally
Car.
says King Car.
Yeah, so apparently looking at the obvious stuff wasn't our forte.
We're a little too focused on what's in the bottle and not the packaging sometimes.
And let us tell you why. First of all, a beautiful natural color, unchill filtered, cask strength.
Ruby.
Just the premier, I would think, distillery.
Yeah.
In Taiwan.
I would say at this point, I don't know if there's any distillery putting out a better sherry finished, port finished, or just finished product these days.
Yeah, we compared a few of these to the old Macallan cask strengths, and we were actually quite shocked on how obvious of a choice it was for a deeply sherried whiskey on which one we preferred. But that story's for another time. What are we picking up on this particular one?
So I start to get this like grapey, sweet, wine finish, and then it starts turning to this like buttery, like I'm trying to even think about what that is. I mean, it's a savory, buttery.
It's almost like dessert or some type of breakfast pastry.
Yeah, now I'm getting some raisins, but there's something in here just so
like a sugared plum.
Yeah, but I tell you, there's something meaty, savory in here that's like, it's not a peat, it's not something like that. It's not oak cask, I don't think. There's just something beautiful in this port that is really balancing it.
I'm a fan of port finished whiskeys in general.
Yeah.
This is really no exception. This is just a beautiful example, but you're getting that lovely dusty oak note that you get from everything from this distillery. Mm-hmm. It's coming through just as plainly as it comes through with many of the other ones, even though it's a different type of wood finish.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a beautiful warehouse somewhere that just smells beautiful from these beautiful oak casks. Man, and that super heat.
Love to tour that warehouse one day. Can you imagine what that thing smells like?
Oh, I bet you it's glorious.
Someone's working there not liking their job, probably. Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets sugary, like a sugary plum to me, at least on the nose initially. For being a high ABV, almost 60%, there's no alcohol smell to this whatsoever. I mean, it's another just incredibly well-crafted whiskey. Either they are blessed with the greatest climate in the history of mankind, or they're just doing something just unbelievable as far as the quality of their production.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing people say they're, aging these barrels for years, not months, not weeks. They're not seasoning. They are aging these barrels for years, for sherry, for port, whatever they're doing. And I'm telling you, it comes off so clear. They've just done this right everywhere. Yeah,
but they're very, very artisan crafted whiskey here, in my opinion. You can tell they've really gone the extra mile. You can feel there's a lot of love in this product.
Yeah, and you can also tell if you actually get into some of the bourbon casks, Mike, this is a very good single malt underneath all of this cask finishing, and that's what really puts them at a different level. They're not hiding bad whiskey.
But they're enhancing it sometimes with these heavily sherried versions of their whiskey, which I love. Mm-hmm. It's a great whiskey. If you're a fan of heavily sherried Speyside whiskeys in general, you owe it yourself to get your hands on a few of these to see what you think. What are you picking up on the palate, Dustin?
All right, well, it's dry. The alcohol definitely comes through there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Raisins and dates and figs. Oh my. There's a beautiful like if you had like some kind of like a raisin, maybe a little bit of nuts, not much, maybe a little bit of chocolate, like kind of nut mix, trail mix type thing. I'm getting a lot of those elements here. Not the saltiness. This is an unsalted version.
Sure.
Got a bunch of those, man.
Yeah, you're right. I'm getting like raisins, dates, but along with it, kind of like an unsalted peanut almost, like kind of that dryness of the peanut.
I was almost thinking like sunflower seeds or something, just very neutral, nutty.
Yeah, something along there, kind of like to re-centralize or recenter your palate.
Yeah, a little bit of chocolate.
Definitely some chocolate, dark bitter chocolate.
Yeah. Everything about this is a little bitter, but like the upfront flavor's not. There's the fruitiness, but then everything after that's got a little bitterness to it. Just brings you right in, balances. Explosive flavor up front, and then it kind of changed into a really nice. I'm still tasting it. The finish is medium to long. It's not quite a exceptional finish.
No, I think it's almost like a starburst, like when you pop it in your mouth, it just explodes as far as flavor. Yeah, I mean you'll remember this whiskey, just like Will with everything from this distillery.
This is one I'm definitely looking for another bottle of.
Yeah, excellent whiskey. Again, like I've said, every port finish whiskey I've always enjoyed. Now, I've never really had one that I thought that was a bad whiskey, and this is no exception.
I mean, I almost want to call it chewy. Like when you're drinking it, I mean, it's thick, it's viscous, it's drying.
It's almost like the density of taffy.
Like I start wanting to start chewing, just bring it in because it's just like, ooh, there's something here.
Such an oily malt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're doing a ton of things right on this thing.
Yeah, you can tell this definitely spent. Well, let's put it this way: it's had a lot of interaction with oak. Maybe not a lot of time, but the interaction with oak has been incredible here. Because it's bringing in a beautiful amount of oak.
Yeah, I get that. I get the oak. Even really with a few drops of water, because it can handle some water at this higher ABV, it just seems to open up even more. It's even a better experience on the nose with a few drops.
It's brighter and more vibrant.
Yeah, like the youth of it comes out now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I could sit here and nose this all night, and I could drink this all night. I mean, it's just every aspect of it is just wonderful.
And almost with some water, kind of goes into maybe a few just like orchard fruits. But normally, like with raisins and pears, it doesn't kind of transition into some lighter fruits. And I'm not saying tropical fruits, but I can see an orange, maybe a peach or something like that in this.
I could even see like a not a super flavorful, but some kind of apple almost thing.
Yeah, plain old red apple.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something here. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, great whiskey. Where are you as far as whiskey score on this one?
We'll go 90 on this one, Mike.
Yeah, I was to say. I mean, all these I tend to try to not want to overestimate. This is why this isn't my favorite one. I still am a solid 89 out of 100 on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, which is a great whiskey. I mean, this was what'd you pick this up for roughly?
I think 270.
270. I mean, that's about the right price for it. 89, 90 should be right around that $250, $300 range. So I think it's fair value for the money. And again, if you're a fan of port cask finished whiskeys,
yeah, I gotta say I am a giant port fan, so my score is a little biased by that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of port too, but you love that port.
I love port.
It's another good one, man. It's another solid whiskey. So if you've had a chance to try this whiskey, if you're one of the few people that got your hands on this one, let us know what you think. If you're a fan of the distillery, we'd also like to know what some of your favorite bottles are. Other than that, Dustin, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
See you next time.